Уважаемый Владимир Владимирович, уважаемые
Mr. President,
наших делегаций, сегодня с
esteemed
большой
members of the
радостью
delegations,
принимаем в
today we are happy to receive here in Astana on a state visit the President of the Russian Federation, esteemed Vladimir Putin. We see this visit as a significant step in developing strategic partnership and allied relations between Kazakhstan and Russia. First of all, I would like to thank the President of Russia for an article that was published on the eve of our summit in Kazakhstan. This article generated a lot of interest because it contains a lot of factual data and conclusions that are of great significance for the further successful development of cooperation that is based on good neighborly relations and mutual respect. And I agree with the idea that the foundation of the Russian-Kazakhstani cooperation is our shared responsibility for the stability and development of the entire Eurasian space. And I would like to express our cordial gratitude for the kind words to Kazakhstan and reforms that we are carrying out in the country. This visit is showing the qualitative changes in our bilateral cooperation, which is corroborated by these objective data. The trade volume is predicted to reach $30 billion. As for the volume of investment, Russia is now a #1 country among all the states in the world. We have a portfolio of promising projects of economic cooperation. It contains 177 projects, out of which 122 projects have entered the operational cycle, so they are being implemented. And Kazakhstan cherishes the ties of eternal friendship and strategic partnership with Russia. We have always seen Russia as a great Eurasian state with rich past and huge potential for the future development. Already now, despite all the difficulties and all the sanctions, the Russian economy, if we consider the purchasing power parity in accordance with the data of the leading financial institutions, has become a #4 country in the world and #1 country in Europe. Last year, the volume of Russia's GDP exceeded $2.5 trillion, which is an impressive result. Having vast mineral resources, great engineering and scientific expertise, and well-trained personnel, Russia will never lose its leading positions in the global economy, and it will play a significant role on the global arena as well. As for the prospects of cooperation between our countries, I would like to note the significance of the joint statement that we have adopted today on the 7 pillars of friendship and good neighborly relations between the peoples of Kazakhstan and Russia. This document was thought through, and it's very rational from the point of view of the goals that it specifies. It explains the framework and the goals for the long-term development, strategic partnership, and good neighborly relations between our countries. The cooperation between Russia and Kazakhstan has reached such an unprecedented level, and it is a merit of President Putin. Being an eminent politician, global-scale politician, you pursue the policy aimed at strengthening Russia as a great power, strengthening its status as a great power. No global-level problem can be resolved without Russia's participation. You are leading the country in a very difficult period when the world order is being transformed, and your mission is faithful for the Russian state and for the people of Russia. Kazakhstan is interested in seeing Russia succeeding in developing its economy and accomplishing its goals on the international arena, because our state is the foundation of the greater Eurasian space. We work together to ensure strong and indivisible security in Eurasia. We are united by cultural ties, by mentality, by traditions, and most importantly, we are united by the longest borderline in the world. So eternal friendship, good neighborly relations, mutual trust is not mere mottos. This is the gist of peaceful coexistence of our peoples and a guarantee for their success in all areas of cooperation of their effort. We understand it well in Kazakhstan, and we perceive it as such. That's why we believe that comprehensive cooperation with Russia is our priority. It is our sacred duty as the heads of state to ensure that this is truly happening, because friendship and cooperation between Kazakhstan and Russia, there is no alternative to these relations. And it is very important that today's talks with the participation of big delegations were held in business-like and constructive atmosphere. We exchange views in productive fashion on all the items of our agenda. We reached agreements of strategic character, and we paid a lot of attention to the matters of security in Eurasia. Considering the unending turbulency in the global affairs, we especially appreciate reliable models of interstate partnership. The relations between Russia and Kazakhstan, they are time-tested. They withstood the time of the test of time, and now we are basing our cooperation on large-scale projects that yield practical benefits to the peoples of the both countries, sustainable trade ties. The entrepreneurial activity ensures the stable growth for the economies both in Russia and in Kazakhstan. The volume of mutual trade in the last 5 years grew by $1 billion. We also steadily develop our investment cooperation. As it's been said, Russia has become a leader if we speak about direct investment into the economy of Kazakhstan, and the total volume of investment exceeded $29 billion. And Kazakhstan's investments in the economy of Russia reached $9 billion, which is also a good indicator. More than 20,000 companies with Russian participation are actively engaged in work in Kazakhstan, and the interregional forum that is going to take place on August 20th will give an additional impetus to our joint effort to enhance the potential of the Russian-Kazakhstani cooperation in investment and trade and economy and in other important areas. And I would like to say that energy is one of such examples of good cooperation. The agreement on the construction of the nuclear power plant Balkhash has great significance for our countries. I would like to express my gratitude to the President of the Russian Federation for his resolute personal support for this large-scale project that is going to become a driving force for the scientific and technological cooperation between our countries, and it will help us develop other areas of energy and industry overall. For our countries, it is important to resolve the issues of extraction, shipping, and energy supplies to the domestic market and to the international markets, because a lot depends on our countries. Transport connectivity in Eurasia. Kazakhstan and Russia are productively working on developing transcontinental corridors north-south corridors and east-west corridors. And we are making a systemic effort to optimize tariffs, to facilitate the administrative procedures, and to develop transborder and other infrastructure. That's why the shipping volumes are growing, and last year it reached 92 million tons, which is 3.5% growth. And we plan to continue to enhance these numbers by introducing state-of-the-art digital solutions and artificial intelligence technology. We can cite as an example the launch of unmanned lorries between our countries, and the cooperation in space exploration is also very promising. The Baikonur Cosmodrome serves as the great example of fruitful scientific cooperation. The implementation of the joint project Baikonur, including the recent successful launch of the Soyuz 5 carrier, opens up new avenues for strengthening our country's positions on the space exploration services globally. And yet another example of our cooperation is the 4 Amur tigers that were brought from Russia to Kazakhstan. You've just seen this. Thank you so much for supporting our measures to reintroduce these tigers in Kazakhstan. Everyone in our country knows about this valuable gift. I would like to express our gratitude to all the Kazakhstani and Russian specialists who were part of this unique project. It was a very noble cause. During the negotiations, we also discussed the cultural and humanitarian cooperation. In Kazakhstan and in Russia, we regularly hold cross-cultural years, and it serves as a demonstration of the big range of our shared cultural legacy. Historians and political analysts of both countries are meeting regularly. This year we are going to hold third media forum of Russia and Kazakhstan. It will serve to help develop efficient cooperation in the media sphere. We need such events to exchange experience, to counter together attempts of disinformation, attempts to sow divergence between our countries and our peoples. And the third Games of the Future that are going to be hosted by Astana in July, August of this year, we also attach great significance to this, and I would like to speak about school education projects. We held 2 summits of the Serious Talents here, which serves as an example of the systemic effort to develop talented, gifted children. In Almaty, we started the construction of the Serious Center, and we have just witnessed the similar ceremony, laying the foundation of the Serious Center in Astana. And these centers can become a calling card of our cooperation in the humanitarian field. It will help us strengthen the intellectual capacities and potential of our countries. I believe this visit of President Putin's was very successful. It is going to strengthen our strategic partnership and allied relations, and the documents that we signed, the agreements that we reached reflect the gist of the Russian-Kazakhstani cooperation, the traditions of good neighborly relations, where both countries are striving for the progress in all areas, in all the fields. In conclusion, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the President of the Russian Federation for his significant contribution to the development of the relations between Russia and Kazakhstan. It is with great satisfaction I would like to say that the outcome of your state visit proved the special nature of our interstate cooperation. I have no doubt that with joint effort, By working together, we will continue to walk on this path that is leading to the strengthening of our strategic partnership and allied relations in the name of well-being and prosperity of our countries and of our peoples. Thank you.
Уважаемый Касым-Жомарт Кемелевич,
Esteemed President Tokayev, ladies and gentlemen, friends, first of all, I would like to thank once again President of Kazakhstan for this invitation to visit your country, to come here on a state visit, and for a very warm, cordial welcome extended to the entire Russian delegation. Our today's talks were held and businesslike and constructive key. They were pretty successful, which reflects the truly friendly, good neighborly relations between Russia and Kazakhstan. We substantively discussed the main areas of bilateral cooperation in politics, economy, culture, in the field of humanitarian relations. We also discussed the items of the global affairs. We signed a joint statement where we lined out the priorities of strengthening of the entire range of the Russian-Kazakhstani relations. We also signed a number of important interdepartmental, intergovernmental documents that in various fields, from nuclear power and finance to healthcare and education. We attached great significance and great attention to the economic cooperation during the talks last year. The trade turnover, as President Tokayev mentioned, was almost $29 billion, and of course, we are moving to this milestone of $30 billion. I'm sure that we are going to reach this milestone and even exceed it, and we are diversify the trade turnover, and almost all the settlements between our two countries are being made in national currencies. So the import and export transactions are well protected from any external influence and any negative trends on the global markets. Russia is among the leading investors into the Kazakhstan economy. The total volume of the Russian investment is nearing $30 billion. More than 23,000 organizations with Russian participation are active in Kazakhstan. 70 large-scale joint projects in various fields of the Kazakhstan's economy are being implemented. We steadily strengthen the bilateral cooperation in the field of energy. This is true. The President of Kazakhstan mentioned that the major volume of the Kazakhstan's export is going through Russia, and Russian oil is moving through Kazakhstan's territory, being supplied to China and other Asian countries. Gazprom is supplying gas to consumers in the north of Kazakhstan. It has been so since the times of the Soviet Union. Russia has always supplied a lot of energy to this region of Kazakhstan, which is profitable for Kazakhstan. They don't need to build any additional routes, any additional pipelines. Also, we are carrying out transit supplies to the neighboring countries of Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. Rus-Hydro is joining the hydro energy projects in Kazakhstan. We also have transborder energy supplies. This area is very well developed. We have flagship projects in nuclear power with the participation of Rosatom. They are going to build the very first nuclear power plant built with the use of the state-of-the-art Russian technology. We agreed on the parameters of the NPP construction and on the funding of this construction with the Russian-issued loan. It will make great contribution to energy security of the Kazakhstan's economy. It will help provide environmentally friendly energy to the Kazakhstan's household. And we are not just speaking about the construction of a nuclear power plant. We're speaking about an entire industry that includes education, training of personnel, etc. A number of large-scale projects in automotive industry is also being implemented by our both countries. The production of mineral fertilizers. We're strengthening cooperation in the area of raw metals. rare earth metals, and we are developing key Eurasian transport corridors as well. We are enhancing the throughput capacity at the transborder checkpoints. We are enhancing railway transportation, water transportation, aerial transportation. We have unmanned cargo route between the two countries, which you could see during the presentation, the video presentation. We are working together at the Baikonur Cosmodrome. We built a new launch pad, and last month, as President Tokayev mentioned, we launched a new state-of-the-art Soyuz 5 rocket. We are moving at a good rate in our cooperation in the field of digitalization. Russia and Kazakhstan work together to develop artificial intelligence and other state-of-the-art solutions in various sectors of the economy. And this cooperation, the advanced technology cooperation, will be discussed during the summit of the Eurasian Economic Union that will be attended by its member states. And we also do a lot together to protect our environment. For example, at the Caspian Sea and at the transborder rivers, we are finalizing the plans of the joint water management efforts at the Irtysh River. We can cite an example of our cooperation in environment protection is repopulation of the Amur tiger in Kazakhstan in the nature reserve near Almaty, and we are also actively developing humanitarian cooperation between our countries. We cooperate in science, in education, in sport. Our youth cooperating, more than 60,000 Kazakhstan students study in Russia. We have several branches of the leading Russian universities operating in Kazakhstan. Our academy helps train Kazakhstan's state officials, and it is important that Russian is widely used in Kazakhstan, and its use is supported by the leadership of the Republic. The new articles of constitution that were adopted after the referendum here in Kazakhstan, March 15th. These articles reaffirmed the official status of Russian language in Kazakhstan, and it was the initiative of President Tokayev on the establishment of the International Organization on Russian Language, and in March, the first ministerial conference took place in Moscow, and it launched the operations of this new organization that is aimed at preservation of the joint Russian-speaking cultural space. President Tokayev, we appreciate very much these initiatives of yours. And we in Russia, we help Kazakhstan with building the schools where the disciplines are taught in Russian, and we help with this effort to develop Russian language in Kazakhstan. And with our support, we're also developing a joint center for the gifted children. We've just witnessed the launch of this project. I mean, the Serious Kazakhstan project, and today we've also launched the construction of the second series school, this time in Astana. We are developing ties in sports. Kazakhstan is going to host third Games of the Future tournament. Russia was one of the founding countries of this competition that combines classic sport disciplines and cyber sport disciplines. When discussing key international matters, we understood that our positions are similar or very close. We coordinate our efforts at the UN and other multilateral organizations in CIS and CSTO and Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And of course, I would like to note the successful presidency of Kazakhstan over the Eurasian Economic Union. Tomorrow, at the summit, we are going to make a number of essential decisions to strengthen our integrational cooperation. And in conclusion, I would like to once again say the words of gratitude to President Tokayev, to all our Kazakhstani friends for the warm welcome, for making this visit possible. I'm sure that this visit, these talks, will help strengthen the multi-layered, multi-dimensional relations for the good of our countries and of our peoples. Thank you.